Okay, we are live on Facebook now. So first I will give introduction and then we'll hand over the session to the speaker. Namaste all, welcome to Natural Ecolink Group 86th webinar, and today's topic is Women Health Management through Ayurveda, and the presenter is Dr. Sunita Joshi, BAMS MD. And a short introduction about her. She is a professor and HOD on Department of Prasuti and Stri Roga, Dr. BRKR Government Ayurvedic College, Hyderabad. She has 25 years of experience in obstetrics and gynecology, and she is a gold medal in post-graduation and topper in the batch of in BAMS. And she also worked in different organizations and different levels, different roles. And without wasting much time, today we'll go through the session in English. And the agenda is Women Health Management through Ayurveda, health problems in women between 12 to 50 years, and symptoms, indications in general we ignore, which prove costly, and question and answers and interactive discussion with the participants. If anyone have a questions, please post in the group chat or send in the WhatsApp. We'll take those questions, or if you want, you can have an interactive discussion as well. And without wasting much time, Sunita Joshi ji, welcome to you and namaste. Please unmute yourself. Sunita ji, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, namaste to all. Good morning, everyone. Very happy International Women's Day, and in advance to everyone. I'm very happy to be a part of you today. I came to know about this group through one of my friend, Hema. She'll be coming to me regularly, and she said we have a group like this. So I thought, why can't I share? And it's a very good opportunity for me to be with all of you. And as much as I can share my knowledge with you, and I can clear your doubts, and I can at least give some information to you, so that because our like Ayurveda as well as India, our Bharat Desha wants Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. See, everybody should be happy. Everybody should be healthy. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu is our word. So I thought this is a good opportunity to talk to you on this great day. As we see the history, the women health has been given a great importance in our ancestral world as well as in our Shastras, because woman is treated as a bowl filled with oil, because every drop of oil is very, very important. We have to see that the drop should not spill, because the woman is the main Srishti. Srishti is done by women. And so women, if woman is not there, the next progeny is not there. So in this situation, one can understand the importance of women. But in between, like in the ancestral period, it was a great importance has been given to the woman. The woman has been nurtured with education and all the other other things like we say archery and all whatnot. Even women used to be, if king is not there, king is not having a male child, he used to keep he used to see his daughter as a son, and he used to treat as a she used to be treated as a king of that land. So in that scenario, nowadays again there is a need to emphasize and give importance and see that woman is placed in her own place. So in that stage, everybody knows that health is a wealth, is a common synonym, common scenario. But when it comes to Ayurveda, the Ayurveda is more focused on prevention rather than cure. That is, prevention is better than cure. The Ayurveda says Vasthasya Swasthya Rakshanam and Aturasya Roganat. That means initially we have to see that the Swastha should be always Swastha. He should not become a Atura. Atura means Rogi. So he should not become a Rogi. That means he has to follow some lifestyle modalities so that he will not catch any disease. So he should be disease free. even if at all, if we contacted a disease, we have to treat the disease. But prevention is always better than the cure. And we have seen in this COVID pandemic area time, the role of immunity, the role of our aushadhas, how important. And initially what we thought, if the COVID comes to Bharat, it is very difficult to treat them because the number of the population is very, very high comparing to all other countries. But because of our kitchen, particularly, I can say, because our lifestyle, we could control in a better way than many countries. Now almost it is almost at the level of eradication, like that. So in this scenario, the woman's role is very, very important, because the woman is a queen of the kitchen. So she knows what to give and at what time it has to be given, and what are the what are the things she has to prepare for the healthy people and the sick people. And also in that I thought I will share my views, and so that even otherwise also we can take care. So when we come to women's health, it is the women health is very, very important, because 50% of the population is women. And the nations, what we call that is the nation is will be facing some problem, because ours is a developing country. There will be developed countries, developing countries, and underdeveloping countries. This will be known by its few things, that is women health, particularly postpartum period and the antenatal period, and the baby, the neonate weight. So how many postnatal deaths, or how many the pregnant women or during the delivery they are having problems and death is taking place. So according to that only, it's one of the great thing to count whether it is a developed country or underdeveloping country or developing country. So the weight of the baby is very, very important. So this weight of the baby, how it comes, the weight, the how the weight gain takes place, it is just nothing but ahara and vihara, what we take care during the pregnancy. Not only in the pregnancy, even in the adolescent age group. The adolescent age group means the menarche. We call it as menarche, is nothing but the first menstruation of a girl. Though when the first menstruation occurs, since then we have to take care of the girl child, so that she will not have any problems, and she'll be having a good health during the pregnancy also, and thereby she can give a healthy baby. The weight of the baby now, it is 2.5 kgs on an average for a girl child in our India, and 2.8 kgs is on an average for a male child in India. So whereas if we take developed countries, it will be more than 3 kgs. So some very, very common in our India, just because the main problem is anemia. So anemia is raktahinata. So the less hemoglobin leads to anemia. Anemia leads to so many problems. This can be corrected easily just by using. If we take the like medicines, these are all synthesized, they're all chemicals. So the body also will not easily absorb that, so that the amount of blood or amount of anemia correction will not be done easily. There's a reason many people will have to have this blood transfusion and all. So, that's the reason why I took the from 12 years to how to take care. So what is the adolescent age group? Usually 12 years to 18 years. What is the reproductive age group? That is from 18 years to, we can say, up to 40 years or 43 years. And then perimenopausal, that is 2 years. And menopausal is usually 45 to 55 years. So what are the problems we face during the adolescent age? So adolescent age, though nowadays the periods or first menarche is starting 10 years only, at the age of 10 years only. Previously, it used to be 13 to 15 years. Just because of the food what we take, it is full of hormones. The milk you will give to the children, that milk is full of hormones, because those people, the milk vendors, they will give injections, the hormonal injections to the cows or buffaloes, the same milk we are drinking. So for this also we have to see some solution. That's the reason why nowadays doctors are telling that don't take milk. The milk and milk products leads to these acne and these all menstrual irregularities and all. So that is not the thing, because milk is a we can say purna ahara. So we have to think where the source, the good source is available, and we have to take the milk. And nowadays the schools are becoming like morning 8 to evening 6 or 8. Even parents think that it is better the children are there in the school itself so that they can read and come, because it's all competitive world. But there the children nowadays, no playground is available in the schools. So sedentary lifestyle is leading to all these menstrual irregularities. So what we have to do, we should encourage the children to have at least physical exercise daily. They have to play something. So we can ask them to play at least at home. This skipping, we used to play when we were children regularly at home in the evenings, and like small games. Otherwise, in Telugu we call as Tokkudu Billa and all. So such games they have to play. And the food also, the children will skip the breakfast. So we should give the breakfast compulsorily. And in the vegetables are very, very important. You have to inculcate them. You have to see that they will take regular breakfast. And Ayurveda says breakfast like a king, the lunch like a middle class man, and the dinner is like a pauper. That is, because the digestion power in the morning will be very high. So the protein and this carbohydrates, if one takes in the morning, it is easy to digest. So the dinacharya they have to follow. Dinacharya is getting up early in the morning, brushing the teeth, having the snana or bath. Bath is called Sramaharanam Sreshtam Snanam. Sramaharanam Snanam Sreshtam. So we have to see that nowadays the children will come home and take the bath, evening taking bath. No, that is not at all good. They have to take the bath in the morning and have the breakfast. In the breakfast, we have to see that there will be carbohydrates. So our own traditional food, we need not give juices or anything. The seasonal fruits and the traditional food. What we give, whatever it is available at home, idli, dosa, or roti, jawar roti, whatever their own traditional food in the same area, it will be available. So such food, even the body will be easily accepts, and the digestion also will be good. So you have to inculcate them having a breakfast in the morning, and lunch should be with vegetables and oils. Particularly, one should not use the boiled oils again and again. So that is, and you inculcate the children to practice some yoga, small, like 1 round or 2 rounds of Surya Namaskaras. So that is the exercise, because the exercise is very, very lacking. And the concentration also improves by doing exercise and pranayama. And particularly junk should be avoided. And during the menstruation, nowadays the advertisement what we are seeing, you can jump during your menstruation, you can run during that. No, it is not at all good. We should not encourage, because Ayurveda says Rajaswala Paricharya, concentrates on Rajaswala Paricharya. What are the do's and don'ts during that period? Because nowadays what we are observing, there is a anti-Mullerian hormone decreasing. That means the capacity to become pregnant also is decreasing. So there is no solution in the modern science, in the allopathy science also, there is no solution for this hormones. So what we observed, we have done a study. So a group of people are made to follow this Rajaswala Paricharya, and we have seen that results are very good. So that means the period of Rajaswala is to take rest. You need not force them to be at home. Even if they go to the school also, they should not run, they should not play with the long jumps and all. So she should be given ghee and rice also, the old rice, shali rice we say, and milk. And she should be given this sesame seeds like til and good, til good wala laddu. I think all the women, they know that our grandparents used to give the til good laddu or nariyal and good laddu, because the til is containing estrogen, and this good or jaggery contains the lot of iron. So in these two combination, increase the menstrual flow, nor regularize the menstrual flow, as well as the iron deficiency also will not take place. So this is very, very important. And if it is possible, the food should be served in the banana leaves. This also experimented, the food in the banana leaf they eat, there will not be anemia. And even banana has got a nature to excessive bleeding also comes down. So that's the reason why I think the Acharya said that banana, the food should be served in the acharyas, in the banana leaves. And they should not do diva swapna, means in the afternoon sleeping. Night they will wake up, and in the afternoon times or daytime sleeping. The many people who are working for MNCs and all, they'll be doing this. But for the women, I don't think night duties are good. So once in a while, once in a week is a different thing, but regularly doing night duties will result into hormonal imbalance, because we are seeing number of cases coming with that. And they should not cry on that in that period, because it's all, see, the hormones release from the pituitary in the brain, and whatever the psychological feelings, psychological disturbances during that period will disrupt the even hormones also. So hormonal imbalance takes place. That is the reason why they said the ashrupata should not be there, and nakhachedana, and running too much, and too much vyayama should not be there, and coitus. And it is not that only any menstruating woman should not have coitus in that period, because it leads to all infections and this endometriosis like problems, which is very hazardous to the woman. So the coitus should be avoided during the menstruation, and all spicy food should be avoided, because the most of the girls nowadays, when we were young, very rarely we used to see the pain during the menstruation. But now every girl will have pain during menstruation, and they will be taking this Meftal or this or that. So these are all the things should be avoided, so that she will not have, because psychological disturbances and your hormonal disturbances leads to painful menstruation. So during that period, she has to be given like strength giving food, and she should be avoided curds also. She can be taken she can be taken this buttermilk in the place of curd. The curd, equal amount of water should be added to the curd, and it should be churned, and it is taken. Then only it is called buttermilk. Just only adding some water, it is not called as buttermilk. The equal amount of water should be added to the curd, and it should be churned well, and it is called as buttermilk. That buttermilk is good than the curd. And another thing, the menstrual irregularities, either they will not have period for 6 months, or it is heavy. So the food material, the dravyas, ahara dravyas we call, what they can take, hingu. Hingu is very good. This asafoetida, it can be taken in a small amount. It can be just fried in ghee in a spoon, and she can be given along with the jaggery. And tila is nothing but our sesame. And this haridra. Haridra is very, very good. It is preventive of so many diseases. So every day, always we use this haridra, or nothing but our haldi. So that should be given. And guda is nothing but jaggery. Lasuna is our what we call it as Elium sepa, is vellulli, garlic, and kumari is aloe vera, and masha is nothing but our pulses, urad dal. And gomutra is very, very good for menstrual irregularities. They can be taken as a tablets, also available now, gomutra tablets, or they can be given a 1/4 spoon of gomutra. And kulatha is nothing but it's also a millet. And our somf is also very, very good, who has these problems. And nowadays, another disease number of people are facing, it is becoming like epidemic. It is PCOS, polycystic ovarian disease. This is a lifestyle disease. All the young women they are facing, and it can be seen with acne, and this menstrual irregularities, obesity, and blackish pigmentation in the nape of the neck. These are all the things are the signs and symptoms of our PCOS. So this is nothing but lifestyle disease. It is like a diabetes. It has to be under control. And who has a diabetes family history, they are more prone to have this. The drugs are used, are very like rarely it is useful. This is only lifestyle management. The already I have told you, like getting up early in the morning, sleeping at 10 o'clock, getting up at 6 o'clock, and doing all physical exercises, and not taking this junk food, and following this Surya Namaskaras and pranayama, and avoiding all excessive intake of sugar and sour things, and even rice also. So nowadays nobody wants to eat like rotis and all. Like just give a order, some biryani or something, they will eat and they will go off. So that is not at all good for the health. Once in a while, once in some festival day, we can eat whatever we want, but every day we have to follow strictly diet regularities. Then only we can control this PCOD, because PCOD is becoming rampant and results are very, very bad. They are potential diabetics. If they don't control their weight and their food habits, they'll becoming diabetics in no time. So here also garlic, sesame, jaggery, turmeric, buttermilk, and dry fruits they can take, and not fruit juices and fruits only. So if they come, we have few therapies, panchakarma therapies for them. They can go to a good doctor and take some vasti karma and abhyanga and sneha, sweda, everything. All these are detoxification methods. So with the detoxification, they'll have good releasing hormones. Thereby, they can get rid of these problems. It is only maintenance. It is not, we cannot totally, we cannot take it out. So heavy bleeding also another problem we face. So heavy bleeding and pain in the lower abdomen, weakness, these are all the things during the this adolescence age, and at the same time middle age also they'll have. So adolescent age usually, as it is called juvenile metropathia hemorrhagica. So ati artava. So this is because of not having good diet. Everybody wants zero size. Everybody wants to be like Kareena Kapoor. No. And this China syndrome, that is Chaitanya Narayana, who are going and sitting long time, leading to hormonal imbalance. So these should be avoided by following the Dinacharya and Rutucharya. Dinacharya, I have already told you, Rutucharya is seasonal management. So in the winter season, what to eat, what not to eat. And when it comes to Grishma Rutu or summer season, what to eat. So then you can have buttermilk, they can have liquids, some juices, and seasonally available watermelon and all such things. And in the ghee is very, very important. So if possible, cow ghee, because ghritam means in Ayurveda, it is go ghritam only. So because it is appetizer, it's a good appetizer, and it is rasayana because it gives immunity. It's rasayana means it gives immunity to the body, and even it takes care of all other dhatus also. So it strengthens the dhatus. That's the reason Godhuma is good here, and Shashtikashali means the crop which comes for 6 months it takes to come. So such rice should be used. And even if non-vegetarians are there, that means Jangala Mamsa, that means it's wild animals, because they will be roaming around. The pet animals, they'll be in the one place, so they'll become kapha predominant. So the same, then not having exercise and all, the same guna comes to the users, whatever they use. So that is the reason why Ayurveda always focuses on Jangala Mamsa, wild animals, like whatever it is, Mamsa and all, if they want to have, they can have. And Kushmanda, that is what we call ash god. Ash god is very, very good. One can prepare juice, or one can prepare like a peta, and they can have in severe bleeding problems. And patola and this ghee and honey also very good. Honey can be taken in the morning with 1 glass of warm water, half spoon of honey one can add, and half this lemon also can be added. And amla is very, very immune booster, and it can be taken 365 days. Whenever the amla season, you can prepare some amla murabba or amla in any form, and it can be taken. And pickle, at least you can keep a pickle, and you can add to your food, and you can have. And this chandana, sandalwood lepa is also very, very good. And ushira, this we call it as a vattiveru here. So these can be taken. And banana flower is very, very good in bringing down this heavy menstruation. So banana flower will be available in any markets and this Raitu Bazaars and all. So you can bring that banana flower and make it 3 parts, and 1 part can be taken as juice, along with adding some misri. One can have water, juice, and water and misri. We can prepare a juice, and they can have. It is it's easy and very good to treat our menorrhagia. And milk should not be hot, and cold milk should be taken in this. And this weightlifting and excessive exercise should not be done during the heavy menstruation. And in the already I have told you about dysmenorrhea. In the dysmenorrhea, fruits, you can take grapes, pomegranate, papaya, in the leafy vegetables, dry fruits, and beetroot is very good even during the heavy menstruation and painful menstruation also. Beetroot can be is very good to treat anemia. Beetroot can be taken as slices, or beetroot can be taken as a juice, adding some good also to that, and some milk, and half spoon or half lemon also can be added, and they can have that beetroot juice. It is very good to treat anemia. It works like a tablet only. Need not take any tablet if they take regularly beetroot juice. And cinnamon or dalchini with warm water, and shunthi or dry ginger with warm water is very good to treat our dysmenorrhea or painful menstruation. And they can apply hot pack on the abdomen, and few exercises during that period. Surya Namaskaras can be done, and few, if they go to the doctor also, the Ayurvedic doctor also will give some drugs. So that is for about dysmenorrhea. When we come to white discharge or leukorrhea, this is very common in reproductive age group, that is 25 to 35-40 years. So watery white discharge from vagina. So like, what is physiological, what is normal, what is abnormal? If they are anemic, if they are weak, there will be some amount of discharge will be there. And during the just before the menstruation and mid-cycle, at 15-16 days during the, we call it the ovulation period, and soon after the menstruation, if they have some amount of white discharge, that is common. One need not to be worried about the white discharge during this period. If the discharge is excessive and any foul smelling is there, any pain along with the discharge, or fever along the discharge, definitely it is a cause of concern. One has to visit the doctor. So initially I said anemia, our general weakness, also contributing factors to this. If it is there, one can correct it, but any of symptoms what I told, foul smelling, fever, pain and all, one has to visit the doctor, and they have to get a test done, vaginal examination done. According to the disease, they will treat the suffering person, and if necessary, a pap smear. So the pap smear is very important in the women's life during the reproductive period. So in other countries, I think from 20 years onwards, they will ask them to get a pap smear done. But here, what we are doing is 35 plus women to get a pap smear done, so that it is a cancer screening test. Any infection or any like probable causes, we can see through this, getting this test done. So the woman has to get it done after 35 years once. If there is a family history, they can get it done every year if they have a family history of cancer. Otherwise, once in 3 years, or if they have any problem, they can get it done. And avoid unhealthy. So menstrual hygiene is very, very important, because during the menstruation, one has to change the pads every 6 hourly. And they have to wash, they have to go to washroom and wash, because many of the persons, they will avoid going to washrooms during the schools, and even the offices also, people mostly avoid, but it is very, very bad. They have to go to washroom every 6 hours, and they have to clean the private parts, and along with their changing of pad. So in this period, they can take, like what I told you about this general weakness and all. We advise any medicine along with the rice water, because rice water means B complex will be there in the bran. So that rice water gives the just rice washed water, that is full of B complex. That is very, very useful in general weakness. So they can have along with adding half lemon and 1 spoon of this misri to that, and they can have. So that is very good during that period. If they have a physiological one, that means due just because of the weakness and all. So these are all the things about the white discharge. And any drug one should not take just like that. They have to go to the doctor. They have to get inspected whether there is any erosion, that means any sort of changes in the uterus are there or not. It has to be examined, then only the medicine will be given. You can come to our hospital also. And the small problems also, people are going for hysterectomy. That is not at all good, because hysterectomy, the uterus is an important organ for a woman, because as long as the uterus is there, the hormones will be released. The estrogen hormone is very much important to maintain the women's health, feminism, and to avoid osteoarthritis, you avoid any fractures and avoid any heart diseases. So the maintenance of hormones are important. If uterus is not there, the target organ is not there, so the hormonal secretions also will stop. So that is called surgical menopause. So that is the reason why we insist not to go for hysterectomies for small things, unless until it is a hazardous thing or any precancerous thing or cancerous, then only go for hysterectomies. So the commercial people, doctors also, few of them are they have to maintain the hospitals and all they'll be doing, but it has to be always better to go to a government hospital, take a second opinion, and then only go for any sort of treatments like this surgical methods. So that is the reason why I'm insisting not to go for hysterectomies and all. And somebody asked regular white discharge. If it is a physiological one, I told you what is the physiological one, what is a pathological one. Physiological one is without having any pain, foul smell, and fever. If it is there little of amount, so vagina has to be wet, or otherwise if it becomes dry, then friction will be there. So that's the reason there will be some amount of wetness will be there. So for that, one need not to worry. If there is all other symptoms are there, then only go to a doctor, take something. Otherwise, good maintenance of healthy food and healthy exercise and sleep, that itself enough, because Ayurveda concentrates on 3 upastambhas. So as the pillars of the Sharira, that is Aharam, Nidra, Brahmacharya. Aharam is the first and foremost thing. We have to eat healthy food, and Nidra ektam sukham dukkham balam karshame vacha. Whatever sukha or dukha, see, if you are healthy, you are in the sukha state, and if you are unhealthy, there will be dukkha. So that sukha is obtained only following your nidra. The Acharya says nidra also very important, and brahmacharya is very, very important. So when to do the coitus, what is dharma according to the dharma, and if excessive coitus also will lead to diseases, and so one should not do like that. And during I told you, the menstruation also, one should avoid the coitus. So these are all the 3 things are very, very important. One has to follow the norms. And menorrhagia we have completed, and white discharge also we have completed, and pregnancy or pre-pregnancy. Just before pregnancy, one should go to the doctor. Pre-conceptional care has become much importance we are giving nowadays, because you can have a healthy baby and you can have a healthy progeny, thereby healthy nation. So pre-conceptionally, if you visit a doctor, what are the do's and don'ts during the pregnancy, one will explain you. And if they are having any diseases, familial diseases, some hemophilias will be there, some other congenital anomalies in the family, or any disease like epilepsy or something like fits and all, some people will have in the family. So or some people will be taking some medicine. So before conception, before conceiving, before planning to conceiving also, if you visit a doctor, they will see all the things and probabilities also they will see, and they will advise you like how to how to go for your conception. And Ayurveda focuses on Garbhadana Samskara a lot, because before becoming Garbhini, one has to be how they have to maintain the health. So at least 1 month they have to eat some amount, like the woman should eat some food and the man should eat some, so that because mainly 4 things are important to become pregnant. So that is Kshetra, Bija, Ambu, we call. So all these, the women, how is the Garbhashaya, or any disease is there or not? Because some diseases, the patient, the woman will become pregnant, but she will abort. So before getting pregnant itself, if they follow few things, and the conception will be good, and the antenatal period, that is pregnancy period, will be uneventful. The offspring or progeny who they deliver also will be healthy. So the preconceptional care or preconceptional counseling is very, very important. If possible, visit to a doctor and take their precautions. And after that, even during conception also. So in olden days, they used to say like till 5th month, don't go to a doctor. But it is not good. As soon as one become pregnant, what are the do's and don'ts? That is Garbhini Paricharya, we call it as. So first month, what she has to take, how will be her digestion power, according to the food, what are the food material, and second month, what are the changes takes place in her Garbha, and third month, what are the changes, and according to the changes, according to the things in the womb, she has to take. Otherwise, if 5th month comes, the scan also, nowadays we are doing scanning at 7th week, that is anti-scanucal translucency, like how is whether any diseases are there to the fetus, that also can be seen. So the probabilities. So that is the reason she has to go to a doctor. But it doesn't mean that the day when she has become pregnant and she has to be on the bed. It is not like that. It is a physiological process, but one has to take care. Though it is a physiological process, we have to be cautious during pregnancy, so that the offspring will be healthy and the good. So there's a reason why that she has to go to a doctor regularly, monthly, till the 7th month, and after that 15 days, every 50 fortnightly, and then in the 9th month, every week. So what are the normal things? Also, they will explain how much weight gain she should have. That is around 11 kgs. The more than, and some people will be having history of thyroids, history of diabetes. So we will see the levels in the early pregnancy itself, and what is the food material, or what are the exercises she can do, what are the asanas she can do, because a few asanas can be done by the pregnant woman from 5th month onwards, so that she can have a sukha prasava. There's a normal delivery, because nowadays everybody is going for cesarean section. So it is not, it's a physiological thing, and our people, our ancestors used to have normal deliveries. Very rarely they used to have a cesarean section. Even further also, to have a normal delivery, the flexibility is very, very important. The pelvic flexibility, that will come only through the food and asanas. So that asanas also can be learned during that period. And in the 5th month, we do, we call it as Dauhrudi. We call her as a Dauhrudi. That means she'll have 2 hearts. That means mother's heart and the fetus heart. So whatever the fetus feels, it will show feelings through the mother only. That's the reason that food cravings will be there. The clothes also, how she should wear, everything. So because we do Simanto Nayana Samskara at that time. Simanto Nayana Samskara is nothing but fulfilling the mother desires. The mother desires along with the fetus desires, because fetus tells through the mother only. So we'll give all types of food to the woman, and we'll see that she's happy. We'll keep her happy, because all the psychological feelings of mother will result on the fetus. So this is the study done by the modern science people also, and they have concluded that the food she takes during the pregnancy, the organs develop in the fetus also in the same manner, because the mother, whatever the food takes, the fetus also will get those organs fully developed, so that after the birth also that baby will be able to eat that food. So that is the reason why we have to give protein rich food, and all these things, sweets and all will give, and we'll give all types of fruits to her, and we'll see that she's happy. So this samskara is very, very important. It is told in our regular history also, and Ayurveda also insists for that samskara. And 6th month, there will be a little bit of this edema, we call swelling in the legs, so which can be taken care of by using some, we call as a gokshura sava, we will give. With that, it can be taken care. So there should not be any urinary infections. So if there are any urinary infections also, these drugs will take care. So if it is more, if there is BP along with the swelling, then to a visit to a doctor, and doctor will give you according to the need the medicine. So as the nearing of 9th month, delivery comes, we'll give some vasti karma, so that there will be oil flexibility improves, and easily the fetus will come out, the baby will come out from the mother's womb. So we'll put some ghee like medicine in the vagina also, so the flexibility will increase. So that is the reason why you have to visit to a doctor every fortnightly, and they'll check you whether she can be given a chance to deliver normally. So if you follow all these things, I don't think there would be any problem for delivery. So this is about, and after this, she is called Sutika or postnatal woman. So in Sutika also, because she'll be like again wounded person. So wounded person should be taken care of very well. So the appetite will be less. As soon as the mother delivers, a pregnant woman delivers, she has to be given light food in the 2-3 days. Even in olden days also, they never used to give food in this period. So they used to keep them fasting. So, but not the fasting, but light food, any like Java thing, like what you call as a soup like things. So you can make millet soup or any, and you can add black pepper, dry ginger to it. These are all jeera to it. So these are all help. They will help in the free bleeding, and at the same time act as a appetizers. And she has to be given ghee, and she has to be given this gasagasalu, we call it as, and this can be made like a payasam and sweet, and it can be given, and she has to take a lot of this ghee and godhuma, that is wheat, and this we'll call garlic, and improves the lactation, and all leafy vegetables. So leafy vegetables increases the lactation. So she has to see that all these are in her food, and lot of milk, because if she drinks the milk, automatically the lactation will improve. And at the same time, she should not have any psychological problems. So that is the reason why in cesarean section, most of the women will not get good lactation, because in cesarean section, there will be a surgery, there will be painful thing. So that much of affection and all she cannot show to the child, because she'll be in the pain. So that is the reason why the cesarean section, the pregnant women or delivered women will not have much lactation. So she has to eat all these things, and according to the area and season, according to the area they belongs to, they'll take them like gram laddus, and this urad dal laddus they'll make, and they'll give panjeri, that is all dry fruits and wheat flour and all. So that is, those are all traditional foods, are very, very good. It has proven. And we give shatavari. So shatavari is a drug. It can be added to the milk and can be taken like Horlicks. But Horlicks will not give you anything. But shatavari is full of medicinal properties, will give rise to a lot of lactation. So that can be taken during the postnatal period. And Ayurveda insists of what? Patta bandhana, that is around the abdomen. She has to keep a cloth, tight cloth, so that there will not be any excessive fat accumulation in the abdomen after the delivery. So many women, they will tell, no, I was very good before pregnancy, but after delivery only, I became like obese and like that. So just to avoid this, one has to do her own work during the lactation period, postnatal period. She should not confine to the bed. She should roam around. She should eat good food. She can have milk. She can have lot of water, because water also, no, many people, they avoid drinking water after the delivery, but which is prone for many urinary infections, fevers and all. So don't avoid any water. Take water. If you can have lukewarm water, that is good. If not, at least room temperature also you can have. Don't take fridge water, because it is not good for the health. So this is about the postnatal period. And perimenopausal. Perimenopausal is again just before menopause, that is around 40-45 years. There will be drastic changes in the menstruation again, and weakness, and some knee pains and all will start, because the hormonal imbalance again it starts. So that is the reason, again we have to do exercise, particularly this asanas and all, very good, and meditation is very good in this time. And for this again menstrual problems, one need not worry if they have every 3 months or every 6 months, but after 1 year cessation of menstruation, menopause, we say 1 year continuously, if she did not have her periods, then we can call it as a menopause period. So after 1.5 years again, if she gets again menstruation, she has to be checked once at least to rule out any other problems. Usually cancerous problems we have to rule out, or sometimes there will be some infection also will lead to that. So no need to worry. You have to go to your doctor, get a scan done, and at that time, and perimenopausal age, mammogram also is one of the mandatory tests we can tell. Mammogram one has to do, is because the breast cancer is very, very like rampant. There's a second most like cancer in the women, cervical cancer and breast cancer. So to avoid this, the food one has to take is healthy food and timely food, and include your soya, and discuss hormonal imbalance, hormonal replacement therapy they do. But hormonal replacement therapy is synthesized hormones. That means all are chemicals. So to avoid chemicals, we have to take our own like phytochemicals. Those are called phytochemicals. That is flax seeds and your til, and again milk, and haridra or haldi, and allium or this ginger and garlic. These are all very good. So along with this, you have to have, like, you can take Chyawanprash. Chyawanprash will have amla in that, so which is dhatu poshaka, or it is very good in the it prevents the aging. It prevents the aging. So that is the reason Chyawanprash is very good. you can take that throughout your life actually. So amla is very good, and meditation and pranayama and walking, regular walking one has to do, and any disturbances, any mood swings and all. So these are like we will give some, if you visit us, we will give some sleep disturbances will be there. For that we'll give some jatamansi kwatha in the bedtime, and ashwagandha, shatavari, and all the rasayanas became Magnedhya rasayanas, we say. So yashtimadu, such things we will give, so that can be taken, and those are all having very good result. And panchakarma is very good. One can have this in the postmenopausal period also, which gives good hormonal release and strength to the your bones, particularly because bones will become fragile, because the estrogen hormones will become less during this period. So osteoporotic changes and the fractures, these are all very common. And Triphala Churna is also very, very good. One can take Triphala Churna daily. They can take, it's a Nitya Rasayana. It can be taken daily. So these one can follow and prevent the diseases. And we'll see, like my own grandmother, she's 98 years old. She takes one-time meal in the afternoon, good meal, and she sleeps well, and she doesn't feel much about all the cravings and all there. So this should be there, that should be there. So she's so satisfied whatever she gets. So that is very, very important for us. And meditation and pranayama gives good soothing to our, and going to satsangs and doing some charity, some charity one can do. They're going to some places where the needy people are there. Do something, will get satisfaction out of it. And following this, I don't think this problem was there in the previous people, for the previous people, the old age problem. Like they used to think that this is a part and parcel of life. So we have to do, we have to chant, and we have to meditate. This is the period one has for their own purpose. So that we have to follow, that strategy we should have in the life, so that we will not feel it like a this time is what we have to do. Nobody is caring for that us, because it is our own time. So how we can spend, that is our this thing, because nobody cares for us, nobody asks. So that is the reason why. So old age people, vanaprasthasrama, they used to follow. So by doing this, we can avoid psychological changes, because that's a period one will have all psychological changes. So like this, in the women life, they can avoid the problems, and as and when required, they can go to the doctor and get rid of those problems, and one need not worry. Thank you.
Yeah, wonderful, ma'am. In a short time, you covered all the details from 12 to 50 years, and maybe more than 50 years. And okay, Ayurveda is such an ocean where there are many things to know. And within 1 hour, I mean, you can't expect many things also. So I remember when my aunt used to say, okay, the Vita is increased, the Kapha increased, you take that medicine, you take this home recipe. And people used to laugh in home. Okay, you are in a old age, you are telling about Vata, Pitta, Kapha. But after 30 years, now we are conducting webinars to know that, so that we prevent many diseases. Because Ayurveda focus more on the prevention part and the improving lifestyle. And then if something comes up, then you take the medicine, which is chemically free, side effect free.
Yes.
Now, due to modern living, all the stuff is becoming, okay, convenience, on the name of convenience. Any disease, just take a pill for a temporary solution and then suffer for long-term problems. Yeah, now we take a couple of questions.
Yes.
So during the menstruation cycle, nowadays pads are coming, but they're not eco-friendly, or they have a polythene mixture. So now there are some eco-friendly pads also coming, and there are superior quality like silicone menstrual cups. Now, which one is better among these three?
Actually, cups and all, cups are good, but inserting the cup and all, one should know well. This eco-friendly pads always better,
Okay.
because everybody cannot use those cups, and cost-wise also, and that insertion and all also, some people they may not able to. So that is eco-friendly are good.
Okay. So one more question is aloe vera good to treat fertility issues in females and males? There are a lot of
Pardon?
contradictory research on it. Aloe
Pardon?
vera for using of aloe vera to treat
Yeah.
fertility issues in females and males.
Yeah, female fertility, we use aloe vera, like we have tablets and aloes compound like that. It is good. But males, it may not give much. It is Kumari. It is the name synonym of aloe vera itself is a Kumari. So as an appetizer also we give in children also. We give within the women hormonal imbalance, aloe vera is very good.
Okay. So another regular complaint what we hear most is the UTI, urinary tract infection.
Yes.
So what is the, can you please explain a little bit about how to avoid that?
So only thing is they have to void the urine regularly, and they have to drink the water, because if they are going out, they will avoid taking water because they have to go to washrooms and all. So long journeys, long sitting for long time. These are all the things which will give rise to urinary tract infections. Urinary tract infection is will cause so many problems in women, because both are in the same place, the uterus and the urinary and vagina and the urinary passage and all. So they should not have UTIs. It will result into many problems. So they have to avoid the urine, they have to drink plenty of water, and that's it. And during the menstruation, hygiene should be maintained. And even just we'll see whenever they go to washroom, they have to clean, because it is adjacent place. Any infection in the vagina will go to this urinary tract, and the urinary tract, any infection will go to vagina. So that is the reason why they have to maintain the hygiene.
Yeah, any simple remedy in the UTI's initial phase so that they can avoid.
So
the
in this
antibiotics?
season, okay, in this season we'll see. I don't know what they call it as. It is palasha. This moduga puvulu antar kada. These are available. All orange color flowers will come. We'll make a we'll eat the leaves. No, we'll eat in the villages and all some leaves. So that is called moduga puvulu in Telugu, and palasha in Sanskrit. That orange color agni pulu, like what we call flaming something, flame, some word it is. So that flowers can be boiled, and it's a very good remedy, even in for Holi. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, exactly. These are very good for the urinary tract infection. These can be boiled, and decoction they can make. They can add some mishri, even they can add some jeera or this thing, and they can add some mishri and they can have. This is very good. So it's all seasonal. This is the way even Holi also has come. So in the Holi also they'll make all this decoction, and they'll play with this. So this is seasonal fruit.
Yeah. So yeah, participants, any other questions, please post in the group chat or raise your hands. We'll unmute and we can ask the questions. Yes. Ramakrishna garu. Sir, ask your question, sir.
Sir, madam, this is Ramakrishna. A general question. For Chyawanprash, can we take for regular general health purpose? Whether we can take regularly, and even diabetic patients also can take it. Just kindly guide, madam.
Okay. Chyawanprash can be taken from childhood till your elderly age. Only thing is diabetic people, for diabetic people, there's a sugar-free Chyawanprash also has available now in markets. So you can use it.
Okay. So ma'am, Chyawanprash can be avoid early aging. So especially from a woman point of view, when they should be taken, like, before food or after food or before sleep?
Morning. So any alechias should be taken in the morning, just before breakfast, along with half cup of milk, and at the bedtime.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, ma'am. I think we completed all the questions. So can you please give me a brief symptoms or indications for early ill health? I mean, so what are the indications where we can suspect, no, there is something going to be wrong in our body? Some simple indications like that?
Like body pains or a headache or any irregular, routine things disturbed. So digestion is not getting. So mainly digestion is the thing we have to see. If there is any problem in digestion, either loose motions or constipation. So usually indigestion is the main culprit for the diseases. So anywhere, anything you feel, that is indication of something wrong with you.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks for the participants. We conclude this today's webinar, and hopefully we'll cover more topics on Ayurveda and how to prevent ill health and how to stay healthy without using any chemical.
Somebody's raising hand. Can we take up?
Yeah. Jahnavi garu. Please ask questions related to women's health problem, not the generic health problems, but such as generic questions we'll cover in the future sessions. Yes. Jahnavi garu, please ask your question.
Yes, how to control low BP? Because during menstrual period, the symptom has risen up. During that period's time, I'll face a lot of low BP as I am very young age. How to control it?
Okay. So I think I have told in my talk that Brahmana Ahara, that means giving good nourishment. Whatever the food you take, it should give good nourishment. That means you can have some payasam, or you can have some dry fruits, because in a small quantity, it nourishes you a lot. So that you can do, adding some dry fruits to it. Payasam you can make, have some dry fruits, and you can have. So nourishment is very, very important. And every 2 hours you can have some food, like easily digestible, because digestion will not be very good at that time. So you can have this small quantity, and nourishment should be there. Payasam is good, I think.
Okay, thank you so much.
We have one more question. How to treat irregular periods and prolonged periods and heavy bleeding during perimenopause?
Yeah, okay. So actually perimenopausal bleeding is common, heavy bleeding, because that it will be an anovulatory bleeding. So whenever there is ovulation is there means the next the hormone will be there, so it controls. So whenever the ovulation, the ova are completed. Perimenopausal means the ova, like how many the women will have, it will complete, and then there will be anovulatory bleeding, which will result into heavy bleeding. So heavy bleeding can be controlled with our ash gourd. Ash gourd, they can make some juice like that, and they can have. And I told you, like banana flower also is very good. Can be taken as a juice. They can make parts. One banana flower can be they can make 3 parts, and they can have a juice with that. These are all the home remedies. And wet cloth, cold water dipped. The cloth should be dipped on the cold water and can be applied on the abdomen, and they can lie down for 15 minutes. These are the home remedies. Irregular menstruation is a very, very physiological one during the perimenopausal period, because there won't be ovulation. So it is prolonged amenorrhea or no menstruation during that time. And for heavy periods, they can do these home remedies. If it is more, they have to visit a doctor, because there are many different causes. Any fibroids are there, anything endometrial thickness is more, they have to take some medicine in Ayurveda. If they go to allopathy, they'll do a D&C. So like that, they have to visit a doctor. They have to get a stand in. What is the exact thing they have to know? Accordingly, they can do. Till then, they can follow these remedies.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, one more question is, Pushpa Garu.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to everyone. Yeah, myself is Pushpa. I'm calling from Hyderabad. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, the awareness program which you gave, this is very good opportunity to me. So I got this opportunity through the Shashidhar Bandhu. I have forwarded. Really thankful, ma'am. Just I have a small doubt. The doubt is actually I'm a 42 years of old. Right now I have a health issue of that before menstruation problem. Before I have a symptoms of a stomachache, that is a severe stomachache and false smelling is it. Right now what's happening, along with the symptoms, I'm just having the back pain, pelvis pain severe.
Pardon?
Yeah, pelvis, no, right now I'm having the menstruation problem. Before I used to get the stomachache, as well as a severe stomachache and heavy bleeding. Now what's happening, additionally it added to that, pelvis pain I'm getting, and through the leg pain also I'm getting. So doctor advised me to go with the Mirena or else a uterus removal. So what can I do with ma'am? Can you suggest me?
So you have to visit us with your all reports. So exactly what is the problem? Because pelvic pain means we have to see other things also. So along with reports, if you visit, then we can suggest
it is
you.
Visiting the ma'am, where is the location, ma'am? Do you have any hospital, clinic or else?
Yeah, I have clinic. I think my number will be displayed so that anyone they want, they can visit me.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah, ma'am. As we mentioned, she's working in a Dr. BRKR Government Ayurvedic College, Hyderabad, and also you can visit her. And maybe, ma'am, can you please share your appointment details or appointment number so that whoever has a problem.
Yeah, my number which I have given you, that number can be shared. So anybody, they can contact me, and accordingly they can visit me.
Okay, ma'am. Sure. I'll share the numbers in the WhatsApp, NELG WhatsApp groups. I have shared the links in the group chat, how to join the group. Yeah. I think we covered all. I have one more question, ma'am. Irregular periods, any home remedies?
Irregular periods, they have to take this hingu, tila, and this what we call lotus flowers. A small will add to the all chart and all. So that those can be taken, and jeera powder also they can be taken regularly, and hot water, and exercise. Exercise is very, very important, and aloe vera also good for that. Aloe vera in the tablet form we give, aloe vera juices in any reputed company. It is not just branded one they have to do, because many people are coming with the aloe vera juice. I don't know the efficacy, how it will be and all. They can take, and we'll do all Vasti Karma for that, which is very, very useful.
Okay. Yeah. One more question is, ma'am, through Ayurvedic medicine or Ayurvedic therapy or the following Ayurvedic lifestyle, is there any chances of increasing the egg quality in a woman?
Yes. Yes, we do Nasya for that. The nasal drops we give with that, because we call it as a Nasahi Shirasodwaram, because the hormonal release from the pituitary, which is in the brain, and the drug we put also will go to the brain. So there will be a action on of the drug on that, and the hormonal balancing will takes place. So we do particularly Nasya Karma, and Nasya Karma regular also indicated for a swastha, and particular some drugs we use for this ovulatory this thing, problems.
Okay. Yeah, I think we completed all the questions. Yeah, whoever is not part of the NELG groups, please send a WhatsApp message to the number 630-101-6099, and then you will get a lot of the information. Yeah, thank you all. With this, we conclude this today's webinar. Thanks, madam, for joining this today's webinar and sharing your valuable clinical experiences. And thanks to the participants for joining and to getting the awareness about how we can manage the health through Ayurveda. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, one and all, for joining. And I hope this will continue. In particular, some problems I can be, I can come to your group at any time. And I'm pleased with your listening also.
Yeah.
I'm very happy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
You have given a chance to speak to you people.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you very much.
Yeah, we completed 3 days training program in Ayurveda twice in Hyderabad, and yeah, we'll continue the sessions. Yeah, thank you all.
I thank particularly Hema, who is my friend, who joined me to this group, and thank you, Hema, once again.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. Your information, whatever you have told today, was really useful. It covered completely for the ladies from the period start to the menopause stage. It was really informative, and the home tips, home remedies which you mentioned, I guess it will be really useful for everyone. Thank you once again, ma'am.
Yes,
for coming to the session.
Thank you, Hemaji, and thank you, Ji. And yeah, for beginners, initial stages who don't know anything about Ayurveda and how home remedies, initially it will be a kind of challenging or not knowing the stuff. But soon you keep attending the interactive sessions or courses, the guidelines, or getting the information. Then within soon time you'll become familiar, and as ma'am said, prevention is better than cure. There are a lot of things we can prevent in our lifestyle by following a natural living. Yeah, with this we conclude this today's webinar. Thank you all.